Hello, and welcome to another episode of Insightful Conversations, where we explore real stories of One Health, international development, and the people making a difference across the globe. I'm Noubia Gribi-Hussain, agriculture economist and founder, CEO of We Empower. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Mushtaq Memon, Professor Emeritus at Washington State University and Vice President for Livestock at We Empower. Mushtaq spent many years working with communities and livestock farmers around the world. Please help me welcome Mushtaq.
Thank you, Nubia. It's always a pleasure to share these experiences. Today, I'm especially glad we will be talking about Lebanon, where I made several visits between 2011 and 2023.
Well, yes, definitely. Lebanon has been in the news for political, economic, and social unrest. What drew you there actually in the first place? Where were you attracted to Lebanon? Please tell me a little bit about it.
Interestingly, Nubia, some of my professors in Pakistan were trained at the American University of Beirut, what they call them AUB. They spoke highly of the country, the people, and of course the food. That was my first introduction or attraction to that country. Later, I was given opportunities to assist in livestock development, veterinary teaching, and collaborative projects of mutual interest.
Oh, yes, that is amazing. Tell us more about your livestock development work during those visits to Lebanon, please.
Well, during my first trip in 2011, when you were serving as regional director for the Middle East and North Africa, you may recall you invited me to contribute to your USAID funded farmer to farmer program. That is when I was introduced to Dr. Jamal Khazal, a respected veterinarian in the Bekaa Valley, often referred to as the breadbasket of Lebanon. Together, we visited dairy, sheep, and goat farms to provide herd health services, including surgical procedures when needed. We also exchanged perspectives on farm management practices in the United States and Lebanon, and I came to regard Dr. Khazal as a highly skilled and capable professional. At that time, Jamal had a small veterinary shop with one additional veterinarian. By 2023, when I returned to speak at the Beirut International Veterinary Congress, I was pleasantly surprised that his company, Lebanon Vet, had become one of the main sponsors with a large exhibit booth. Jamal's practice had grown into the country's largest livestock veterinary business, employing around 10 veterinarians and expanding drug and equipment sales into Syria and Iraq. On later visits, I also worked with dairy farmers in regions such as Akkar and Tripoli.
I recall very well, and I was so always very thankful that each time I asked you to come and help Lebanon, you were always there. This is a remarkable growth. This is what I call sustainability beyond projects. Today, we're basically talking about that. When the project is very well rounded, very well designed, sustainability becomes the most important element of the communities that we serve. So you also mentioned teaching, Mushtaq. Can you tell us more about your role in veterinary education?
Of course. In 2011, I visited the new veterinary program at Lebanese University, which is the largest public university in the country. At that time, the first students were being taught mostly by part-time private veterinary practitioners with limited laboratory facilities due to financial constraints. I delivered a series of lectures, and since the library had only a handful of books, I brought a suitcase full of donated textbooks from Washington State University on my next visit in 2012. I also met with Lebanese Veterinary Association to better understand the profession. Together, we gathered data and published a 2012 paper titled A New Beginning for Veterinary Education and the Veterinary Profession in Lebanon. One of the key findings was that there were only 151 veterinarians practicing in Lebanon, trained in 20 different countries, mainly Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Iraq. By my 2023 visit, things had changed. With the new association president, Dr. Nidal Hassan, I co-published an updated study, Status of Veterinary Education and Services in Lebanon. The number of veterinarians had grown to 384, with nearly half graduating from Lebanese University in the past decade. It was also rewarding to meet former students I taught in 2011 who had become specialists in Europe or industry leaders.
Wow, very impressive. And that's truly inspiring, Mushtaq. And I remember during your 2023 trip, I invited you to visit farms beyond Beirut, particularly in rural communities where herders were struggling with animal health and nutrition.
Yes, Nubia, I'm always grateful for your thinking about me and giving me opportunities to do work together. Yes, I remember very well when you were head of the programs of a local foundation, this time leading a project funded by the French Development Agency, AFD. You invited me to visit several farms. One goat farm in particular left a lasting impression. The farmer spoke of repeated abortions in his herd and noted that antibiotics were not available to prevent the abortions. I explained that prevention comes through vaccination rather than antibiotics. That exchange underscored just how critical education is in improving good herd health management.
Absolutely agree with you. What would you say are the main takeaways from your experiences in Lebanon? Like, just in a nutshell.
Well, I found the Lebanese to be industrious and business-minded people. The country has about 6 million residents, but nearly 20 millions in the diaspora. Many Lebanese abroad are highly successful and remain deeply connected to their homeland, investing in businesses and building homes they return to each summer. On a personal level, I made lifelong friends and grew to the love Lebanese food, arguably the best in the world. Despite Lebanon's challenges, its people are remarkably resilient, and I truly believe it can regain its reputation as the Paris of the Middle East.
Absolutely. I would like to add to the 20 million diaspora the Friends of Lebanon, and among which would be me, you, and other who contributed under not only USAID, but other programs, other foreigner coming from developing countries who truly enjoy and like Lebanon. They like everything about Lebanon. And they have definitely contributed in all of my programs on economic growth, livelihood, safety net, community development. So thank you, Mushtaq, for sharing such valuable insights. Like you, I hold a deep affection for Lebanon. I was fortunate to live and work there for nearly a decade. And for another 5 years, continued my engagement remotely, traveling several times a year to Lebanon. I just enjoyed it so much. Much of that work centered on economic growth, community development, value chains, and market systems, always with a strong focus, as you know me well, on empowering youth and women. So now we are about to end this podcast. So to our listeners, thank you for being with us today. Don't miss Mushtaq's videos, I would say, many of them capturing his experiences abroad. They're really well worth watching.
Thank you, Nubia. I look forward to continuing our conversations.